I hope somebody suck it totally.
Oh my God.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Straight No Chaser, the podcast where we have a discussion, like we will in our group chat, in front of you. Welcome. Tonight we have Ayana.
Good night, Queen's Park.
That's on brand. We have Bahar.
What's up? What's up?
We have Rohan.
Hi.
And we have Sabrina.
We got the yelling.
Gang.
We haven't seen Sabrina yet, so Sabrina is here, and we are all very, very happy.
Long overdue.
It is long overdue, like the song by Irfan Abs, but no shameless plugs about music tonight.
I'm gonna see how long that lasts.
You're sickening.
Am I sickening or am I cultural? I'm doing it for the culture. You understand?
I mean, I don't know who you're talking about.
Which culture? Because you're multifaceted. Which culture are you repping for today?
The
I am
Caribbean
several
culture.
reasons why you need to do it for the culture, because I ain't even know.
I think that's the first time I've heard Giselle so quiet, huh? Lack of response.
We have no response. Wow.
I don't know where to look to answer because I'm looking at that one in the corner there. I'm looking at that next one in the corner there. And the only person I'm not looking at is B, because even though she started it a little bit, I just don't know who to answer. But anyway, no shameless plug, but we're doing it for the culture. It's long overdue, like Irfan Al said. Long time, this is overdue. Long time, this is overdue.
We have a melody now.
There you go.
It still sings at least one soca song.
I know that song.
So that sound bad. Sabrina, what's been going up with you, girl?
It's cold, man. Trying to get used, but a bitch can't get used.
The cold Caribbean gal went all the way to ice cold North Tip, Eastern US.
Never get used to that. Like, honestly, the cold bites through your leggings and your pants and goes straight for your inner thigh. It is very serious.
When people don't understand that when I say I'm wearing lots of my clothes, like I'm literally wearing lots of my clothes, like 2 pants, a full t-shirt, a sweater, a vest, a hoodie, a jacket, because I all bought the insulation, I try to start a forest fire in my body now.
Man, I thought you was gonna say in your pants, dog.
No, I'm smarter than that. That's too much ammo for you.
Sorry. I was really hoping to forest fire any pants. Cool. So guys, we are going into
fur-lined tights underneath everything. That should save my life. It's like cashmere lined. It's like a leggings, but on the inside.
I have those. They have them.
I didn't have the girl problems when I was in Toronto. Them thick thighs been saving lives. The same leggings that I go to the gym with here is the same leggings I used to wear in minus 20 something weather, and just with boots. I'm good to go. My legs rubbing on each other. We have a nice little fire going, and we're booking it to school. I lived, I survived.
I used to bike to school, and you might be surprised how much cold breeze a bicycle could kick up in your face.
Oh my God, Jans, I just remembered your video that you made last year, was it?
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God, we should resurface that video at some point.
Please.
Yes.
I need to check and see if I archive that, because that needs not be.
It has to be.
I'm very sure I come upon that sometime in my own. I probably try to repost it or something. I will go and look for that.
No.
It was really the helmet that had me. It was the helmet that had me the most.
The helmet and just the stance, I was just okay, girl.
It was for what, Environmental Day or something?
I think it was for World Environment Day, and we were trying to tell people ride your bicycle more, leave the car, ride your bike to work. And so my girl decided.
I didn't get that message at all. I didn't at all.
I thought it was a cartel tribute.
It was a cartel tribute too.
I thought it was a
It's like-
cartel tribute too.
It's
Now we
always
know.
supposed to be a cartel tribute. Y'all know me.
2 years later, because it was the last day,
Well,
it would have been
boss.
2 years later. It was an Environment Day thing, you know. Okay.
Oh my
For the
gosh. 2
listeners,
years.
Ayana rode an air bike while playing what's
In
the
a
song?
helmet.
In a
In
helmet.
in a
bike
full
helmet.
helmet.
Ride on the bleep like a bicycle. Was it?
Yes. Yes.
You know, that's something people don't want to hear. the
On,
word.
on the what?
On the bleep.
Okay.
Oh, we're being,
Instagram has
what are we
trained
being
to
polite
bleep
today?
We're censoring tonight. Okay, I didn't see that
Instagram
email.
has been censoring me, so I'm just trying to censor myself so they don't have
How
to.
is it that you and Instagram stay fighting like that, yo?
If I say ass, Instagram literally bleeps. I was like, I feel disrespected. First of all, I can't express myself.
You should use some Grenadian curse words.
That's true. Ooh.
You can.
Because they won't be able, they can't create a caption for it because they don't know how to spell it.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh,
Just test it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Test it out on your personal, eh?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it on Curly Tails.
Thank you. Test it out on your personal first to see what is the scene, to see what is real scene. All right, so can we get into the meat of the matter? Do we have any vegans around? All right.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
it's
You
about
really have jokes tonight, you know.
listen, I real funny, you know.
But you're moving like the dad jokes. though.
Yeah, this is
Hey,
dad
I
jokes
really
back
like that
today.
jokes. I
Dad
really
jokes
like
are
that
cool.
That
jokes.
gigabytes was real funny.
Oh, I
miss
can see that.
that one.
B, can you pull
You
up a
can-
knock joke? I have missed one of your knock. You haven't sent knock jokes in a while.
She hasn't.
You
Her
are right.
dad jokes. Oh my god.
Dude, my knock
Dude.
jokes, I love my knock jokes.
Do that.
Oh,
I'm ready for that.
It's been
Yo,
a while. Let me.
Alexa be hitting with the knock jokes too, though. Eh?
Don't say
You don't hear nothing.
my
I
face.
stopped asking Alexa to tell me jokes because I know my neighbors think that I crazy because they know they nobody inside here but me. And I can't be laughing like that.
You sure
So
they don't know that it's not just
they know
you sure?
it's just me.
Okay. I just wanna make sure.
Y'all ready for
Let's
one?
not do this. Eh? Yes, of course. Don't do this.
It's so inappropriate. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Luke.
Luke, who?
Look through the peephole and find out.
That was so bad.
Yeah, that was real bad.
But thank you for calling me out. I'm about to bring some jokes back to the group chat.
Thank you. Because we be needing that. Rohan, did you snort at the very bad
She
Luke
did.
joke?
She did.
Because bad jokes are the best.
Okay.
You're really laughing at the fact that how dare someone write that?
For real.
True. Speaking of bad jokes, we're going to talk a little bit about Valentine's Day. It is coming up. See what I did there? Yeah. So
Wait, are we not taking a shot before we?
that is very true. We forget. You know what? We're taking a shot to the bad jokes.
There we go.
Definitely.
All right.
What are we drinking here?
Our normal, well, my normal tequila.
Passion fruit rum.
I look at ginger there, you know.
Excuse me,
I'm
Thompson?
having some flavored
Juniper
vodka.
berries.
Juniper
Juniper berries.
What's the juniper
The juniper.
berries, man? I have prosecco in my shot glass.
Oh well, hey.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, guys.
Clink,
Another
clink.
good episode.
Clink, clink, clink. Please ask me why cheers to the actual screen and not to the camera.
B, I'm sorry.
I
didn't
really
mean
thought
to
you guys
laugh
could
at
see
you.
me. I know, but I laugh at myself.
Why don't we just do the shot thing, the man?
Excuse?
Y'all just
Why?
feel like y'all just be blowing out like fire when you have to take a shot. Like
Oh, my chest is big.
I just feel like a dragon now.
Yeah.
You ever take a shot in the cold and then you just blow it out? You look like Puff the Magic Dragon.
Oh, good.
All right.
Stop
So who going
dancing.
first with the
The Valentine's?
Valentine. What? Yeah, that thing.
Valentine's.
It's coming.
The one that's singing down there. Bro, what are your Valentine's plans?
I'm gonna cry myself to sleep for the 200th time. I'm really just gonna be trying to make some money before I leave. I ain't gonna lie. But you know, so I'll probably do some charcuterie boards. Some
Charcuterie boards?
charcuterie, we in there with the charcuterie. So, I'm probably gonna be doing some before I leave. I'm gonna try and like push it, and I leave Saturday evening, so I'm gonna try and push it and like have my last delivery maybe be like 1 on Saturday. Y'all laughing at me?
I'm not. I don't
Trying
know
to push
we're
what
not-
in?
Huh?
Sorry, I could not let it go.
I knew B, because I saw B face, I was like, yeah, that bitch really
It's
too.
bad. Okay.
Listen, it's my
Sorry,
anniversary
sorry,
coming,
go on.
okay? It's my
Continue.
anniversary of like, you know, celibacy, okay? It's my 3rd anniversary.
Your voluntary celibacy?
Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just
And
be
I-
making some money, and the curly tails will be posting 2 menus, okay? So look out for that, quick.
Yes. The curly tails will be posting. So I will make something up of that menu, of the cocktail menu that is.
Do it.
Yeah.
We're doing a full
Yans.
food and drink.
Oh,
Yans.
nice.
Yes, miss.
Yes. Plans for Valentine's.
So, you know what they say about not having expectations and stuff. So, you know, what I expect is that I will have a lovely time with my cats, probably watching some,
All 4 of them.
all 4 of them, you know. The fat one is quite moody. Yeah. If I'm not over the seas, that is. So
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
So yeah.
That's good. Smugs Brina.
Whew, I will be having a lovely time at the gym
That makes sense to me.
because you know it's a Monday, so you set the tone for the week. You know,
Set the tone, like tone in your body, you see?
I should masturbate. That'll set the tone for the week too.
Wow.
you know.
No,
That's
if
true.
I said that, you would have put me in the corner for a minute, eh?
No, man, I expect it from both of you.
I mean, I would go
Fair
in the corner, it's okay. But
To be
like,
fair, I also expect it from myself. This is a no judgment zone.
It
It
is
is.
not.
Giselle judges me, it's fine.
It's fine.
I mean, my
It's
hope
okay.
is that I'm doing that from Friday, Saturday, like, yeah. I hope Valentine's is good to me.
Okay.
I hope it's
You know?
weekends are great. I hope it comes with the usual bombness.
Had to get a last minute little sexiness for the wedding. You know?
Woohoo! Yeah. I will ask B last because hers is exciting. I have absolutely no plans for Valentine's because I've never been a Valentine's worked up for it. You know, it's just another day. I will tell people happy Valentine's and all of that. I will accept chocolate.
So
However-
basically, that means that for the Rasta men in Giselle's DMs currently, she has no plans. So, you're welcome.
Also, we're expecting men to do things nice.
No, we just letting them know that Giselle is available. She's free, guys. Come on.
Yeah, they've been known.
And she will be unsupervised.
No.
They didn't know that part.
So
I
now
left-
is
I
the
left
time.
Amy
Now
in
is the time.
I love you.
Rohan left Amy in charge of me, but anybody taking on Amy. But yeah, I wouldn't be doing anything. If any one of my friends are here, I would love to have do something cool, have a dinner, have some drinks, but we normally do that anyway. So
Like
ain't
a
no
gal.
plans on my side. Like a
My best
Galentine's.
Valentine's was
Last year's Galentine's
Yeah.
was so sweet. It
So
was really nice, guys.
Was that the one where we
Rohan?
got all those toys?
It
Yes,
was.
we got sex toys at the end of the night. It was a really
man.
exciting day.
The
But
group
that
chats
wasn't
from
even-
that was really
that wasn't
hilarious.
even the highlight though. This bitch made a whole menu and
That one
prepared
right
us
there.
a multi-course dinner and cocktails. We had
It was very
prosecco.
sweet.
We had the pre-sex.
It was
Great.
amazing. And on top of that, we got toys to take home. But that wasn't even the best part. The best part was all the planning and effort you put in before, Rose. So
Yeah,
I
we
mean, I
had-
like doing cute things, and like the little menu and stuff. I was like, let it be like real nice and cute. Like if we can't do it for each other, we can't expect other people to,
That's
Yeah.
true. It was really sweet. It was really, really sweet.
People was
Loved
trying to
it.
crash,
people were
You
trying
know,
to.
I am glad for the one crasher because without the crasher, we wouldn't get with toys.
Yeah.
But if he listening, if he happens to hear this year, everybody want a sucky ducky. Everybody want a sucky ducky this year.
I have one.
You want her next one. She want two sucky ducky, so one could dead and the other one could, take up its place. We want sucky duckies all around. Thank you very much. B, you have big plans for the period of time within Valentine's. Tell us
I
again.
mean, it is the week of the wedding.
Blink twice, blink twice, blink twice.
I've been blinking. I didn't feel you catching me though. So, but I am actually not a Valentine's fan, meaning like I can't remember the last time I made like a big deal about it. Because I mean, if you can't, if when I was with somebody still, it wasn't a really big deal. I mean, but to be quite honest, this year, I feel like it's more likely that Rohan will be my Valentine's date versus Daryl because we'll just be busy with wedding stuff and Ro will be here. She's staying, at the house with me and probably just wedding stuff. I told her that we're going to do some arts and crafts and just be drinking and probably watching Disney movies with some little last minute arts and crafts. But yeah, just wedding stuff. So
I can wear lingerie for you.
ew, let's see how many people are home.
Okay.
Let's see.
Sounds like y'all are gonna have a grand old time.
Yeah, we're gonna
But
watch Encanto.
people, we don't talk about Bruno.
Yes, I love that movie.
We don't talk about
I've watched it maybe twice a week. I fell asleep the other night when I was watching it, and I'm
What
mad
movie?
because I fell asleep before.
Encanto.
That and
Oh, I
Coco.
haven't watched that yet.
Girl,
Oh,
you got it.
Smugs. You need to watch
Giselle.
it.
I
thought
told
from
you.
Venezuela.
And how did I say it wrong? I'm very sure I pronounced it right, just like I pronounce empanadas. Is that okay for me to
Did you
say?
say? No, you can say
Like a
that.
little appropriate. Inappropriate.
What you said.
She appropriated me.
I'm sorry that I'm not from Nicaragua like I am. Okay?
Wow.
Wow.
Oh.
Nicaragua is where we're at now.
No,
Mm. You know what?
Anyway.
Thank you.
Anyways.
All right. So, people, you can tell us what your plans for Valentine's are. Message us at straightnochaser.podcast on Instagram and go to our link tree and they will take you to your preferred streaming platform. But DM us on Instagram because we want to hear from you there too. A little engagement. Tell us what you have planned or even tell us what you did. Or tell us your best Valentine's experience. We'd love to be able to share that around that time.
And we also just like people to slide in now.
We do. Not me though.
It's like, do the cha-cha slide. Slide to the left.
Maybe send us your best Valentine's experience. I think that would be
I'm your worst.
great research for Ro, but really and truly, I'm interested in the worst ones because that's where the jokes
Yeah.
are.
That's where
And
the fun
I'm here-
stuff is.
I'm here for the jokes.
Yeah. I think they could tell us like their best one and their worst one. Like I'm down to hear the juicy stories. Y'all have some funny ass stories, bro.
All right, so guys, we want to hear your Valentine's experiences. However, we want to hear your best Valentine's experience and your worst Valentine experience. You can put them in and we will probably make a little short seggy on Instagram to share them because y'all be having some experiences that I don't know what all is we doing, but tell us. And we want to hear from the guys too, because
Yes.
I'm sure that some girls have thrown tantrums around that time of the year. So Ayana, what is your face?
Nothing. I don't throw tantrums.
Nobody said anything. I just asked you, what was your face, baby? Your face went.
Oh, what was it was facing?
It faced. Your face faced.
I've been working on this.
And everything is a work in progress. It is a work in
Listen, I need to perfect my poker face because after that,
progress.
yeah,
Yes.
the other day, I realized how much my face faces, and I'm really trying to learn to be stealth. So I need to start working on the man inside.
I feel like all of our faces face.
Yeah.
Sabrina faces the worst.
Oh,
She's worse than
listen,
me.
when Sabrina does her face facing, oh, you will know when you're not on good terms with
Sabrina,
her. When she
Sabrina
about to change.
eyebrow does go.
I've never seen an eyebrow lift so high. Like mine cannot. It cannot reach. Like
No.
yours has reached new heights.
Listen,
Very
people,
high
Sabrina,
people.
people thread their eyebrows to get to those heights, and you just naturally be doing that.
But damn.
Killing the
It's really
eyebrow
when
game
she
everywhere.
My favorite one is when she's not paying full attention, but she hears something and she
The spin around.
the
Mhm.
spin around and their hand to the chest, clutch and pull,
Oh, she does the.
Clutch.
Not full.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah.
Oh,
and the
man.
qu'est-ce que c'est.
Mm. We ain't heard you
You
say
know
that
you
in a
had to
long
be on
time.
some shit. You know
Yeah.
you had to be on some
You
shit
know,
when you
say.
get hit with that. And when
Yeah,
it get
funny.
broken up,
Mm.
We're not working on it. Ayana is working on making her face less facey. And I mean, you don't have to, you're perfect.
No, I think Sabrina actually can be straight-faced if she wants to. I have seen her do it. I think she can. I
Absolutely.
can't be straight-faced to save my life. Listen, I would dead.
I think you would combust.
Yeah, she would implode. It would come from the fieriness.
Inside.
The
I can't do
fieriness from
it.
inside will just implode. Speaking
Listen,
of faces,
I'm not a liar. I can't do it. I can't pretend. I can't. That's why, that's why I have the friends that I have.
it's true,
Yeah, but
No.
sometimes it could be very entertaining to let people just, just gas them up a little bit and see how far it could go now. Because Giselle know that more than anybody else how far you willing to take a gas up. We could go to Sutters and back with the gas up at this game.
We could travel by car over the sea and nothing, we ain't breaking down at all. That is how far that
Period.
gassing would take her.
Oh my god.
Period dead. I am absolutely interested in what you're saying. Period dead. And I can tell you what you're saying too.
She's really not nice, For the people who don't know, and I'm sure most of you have formed opinions, of all of us, the not nicest one.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm hoping that I fall somewhere closer to the nice. Am I nice? I don't know, am I a nice person?
so I think we are all nice. I do think when we all mad, we mean. Like even I mean. Like, and I know you all try to say I'm nice, but even I mean. Like I just get deadpan, and like my responses to you are very direct.
I don't
Daryl
know.
tells me that.
But I'm direct by default, so it doesn't mean that I'm not nice.
No. Meaning when I say I'm direct, meaning like I'm abrupt. Or I just said like this
She's
is it.
short.
Yeah.
Like when she tried to fight those people for trying to cut in line when we were trying to get liquor.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the same. You see, that's yeah.
And Sabrina just fighting. She's just fighting. She's okay. She's fighting from jump. From jump. That is why my plan is as soon as Sabrina touched down in Grenada, whenever the hell that is again. Setting emotions.
Oh, the dramatics, please, Lord.
Yeah, I go and start fights.
Recovering.
I go and start fights. Once Sabrina here, just be like here, and then be like Sabrina.
But I'm young, I'm dangerous, but
It's true. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Okay, so we're speaking about dangerousness.
Sorry, I was just gonna make an apology to anybody that I've spoken to while drunk. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're making drunk apologies.
I didn't
Nice.
mean to be mean. Just as you spoke about Sabrina fighting, I just, flash back to drunk Ayana. And drunk Ayana think she
She's
a
a baddie.
baddie. Yeah. So,
No,
I'm
drunk
sorry.
Ayana is a baddie. Drunk Ayana real think she's a bad man.
It's
A bad
okay.
man, that is it.
Yeah.
Almost tried to fight a man that say he would pull a gun on me. I'm like,
Oh, you smart.
I was ready for the fight, yo. I ain't gonna lie. I was froggy as hell. I was drinking Hennessy.
You and the Henny.
I was on that Henny, yo, and kept touching me. I was like, bruh, I'd bleep your shit up. And he's like,
Yeah, with the censor and I can't.
Is the
What are you
censoring.
doing? Stop.
I would bleep.
bleep. Sarah doesn't have to bleep me, in case YouTube ever tries to tell us, take these glitches off here. Please beep off here,
I think you could say bitches, though.
Can you say bitches? Okay, because bitch is a dog,
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah.
Drunk Giselle makes
Well,
no
that's an ass is a
apologies.
donkey.
Also say
so-
arse. Not
I am
can you say you have to say arse.
First.
Arse.
like British. We have to say arse in it.
It's less of a bad word.
Yeah, drunk Giselle makes no apologies. Drunk Giselle is super friendly and she specifically wants to speak to Rasta men. I make no apologies. For
You
that.
do that sober too, babes.
I know, but she specifically speaks to Rasta men when she's drunk. Like all in the asshole. I'm still not sorry.
Everybody know that she is there normally, right? Like I'm confused.
I'm not
Play with
really-
me tonight, eh? Play
Yeah.
with me, Henry. Play with me. All right. So since we're trying to, start shit, we are going to speak about an experience that 3 of us had, and one of us witnessed firsthand, I believe, and another person witnessed in retrospect
Yep.
recently, right? We were invited to a podcast to, have some nice banter about, gender wars, what grinding is. And, well, what I could say is that it wasn't what we expected, and we just wanted to shed some light on some of the questions that we were able to get through. We weren't able to get through all that they sent because they had a very lovely, planned thing for discussion and stuff. Based on how it went, we weren't able to get through some of them. So we're just gonna discuss some of the questions, right? And just get into the meat of the matter because those topics are cool topics to talk about anyway. But in a thriving environment, a safe environment, I think we'll be able to get through some more, right? So let's just start it one time. The first question that was asked, and I'm going to rephrase it for purposes, but it's two parts to this question. The first question really was if a woman's value should be determined by the number of sexual partners that she's had. That was part A of that question. And there's a little note saying that she wasn't in a committed relationship with any of the people that she was having sex with. So that was the question. How should a woman's value be determined? And yeah.
I like this question because I feel like we also as women, we kind of low-key have this discussion anyway when we're talking about ourselves or other women. Sometimes we talk about our body count and stuff, and a lot of women talk about keeping their body count down or things like that, or sometimes women judge other women based on their body count. But for me,
Oh.
Evil laugh. That was a very evil laugh, friend.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say it's a different story. I'm just going to allow someone else to talk. But just to say that it is something that comes up. We don't, yeah. Women are definitely aware of, the amount of partners that they have. For some women, it means nothing. And for some women, it means everything. And we've been socialized to think that the less partners that you have, we've been socialized to idolize virginity. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just never heard this question asked about men. I can't, like in my history of, I see it more often where we always ask the question like, is a woman less value because she's had so many partners? How come? I mean, do you all ever hear that sentence asked or question asked? Like, do we value men less because of all the number of sexual partners that they've had?
I heard the question of what determines a man's value, but it had nothing to do with sexual partners. Right?
Yeah.
Versus
Versus like for women, I think it's like it's so ridiculous how much emphasis is put on the idea of, well, the value is connected to her sexual partners, right? Men's value, I think there's another side of that that comes with like financial stability, all that kind of stuff. But like, I think it's so like, it's just so crazy how much even in this time that like that type of question still comes up, or that type of conversation still happens, even amongst women, amongst men and women, it's crazy to me. That's just my opinion.
I think when like the question is like not necessarily posed, but like when that group of words are put together and it's talking about men, it's more like if they've had how many sexual encounters, they are better at sex. So it's looked at it in a positive light. It's like, okay, so this guy's had like sex with like 20 plus girls, like he has to be like A1 in the bedroom. Whereas women, it's like she's had sex with like 20 something men. Oh, like that's nasty. It's looked at so differently. Like,
I don't understand why it's such a big deal, because it's not like if a vagina is disposable, it doesn't lose, it doesn't get any wear and tear,
it bounces back.
And for me, I think it's mostly about how you do something. You do something, you're clear, you and your partners are all, you're either you're monogamous or you are openly seeing other people. You're not going behind anybody's back, and whoever you're sleeping with is aware that you have multiple partners, and you're taking the necessary precautions. Like, I don't understand where it comes from, but something about it. Obviously, we know that, I guess, religion plays a part in the idea that a woman has to be untouched and pure. That's a whole separate discussion.
But I mean, I feel like that's just, we use the Bible to basically just put things on women's back. Because the Bible talks about everyone waiting until marriage to have sex. But all of a sudden it's like, well, if a woman doesn't do that, she's a whore,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask something. But I wanted, Sabrina didn't get a chance to touch on the topic yet. If you wanted to say anything.
No, not that I didn't want to touch it. I feel like it's such, to me, I hadn't thought about this specific question until it was brought up in the podcast. And I just feel like there's such a divide in the generations now. So I feel like our generation is not talking about that because we have evolved. Like that's not how we measure our friends and our family. That's not what we see. And you could have seen that in the podcast. Like that's what they think about, because that's their generation and their ancient archaic selves. So that's really all I had to say about that. So I mean, it is a good question, but I just never thought to think about friends and their body count and their value, because to me it doesn't add up. The math isn't there.
Yeah,
exactly. I was thinking, like, I thought about it, like, when I was thinking about it for tonight, and I was like, dude, high value had nothing to do with your vagina. It really doesn't, because think of all the women who have like 6 and 7 children with the same one man. That is a lot of vaginal use here. Do you value your wife less after she has had so many children for you? If you're thinking about what she has been receiving, you understand? Is she of less value because now she has pushed out something, so many little use? You understand? I just find that's crazy.
Even if she's having a lot of sex with you, like, does that make her less valuable to you? Like, it's wild as hell, bro.
Yeah, and that's like, even if you don't choose that person to be your partner, you might have friends who have a lot of sex, do you value your friend less but still keep her as a friend? Like, are you only thinking of value as the persons that you want to be in a relationship or you want to get sexual with? You're thinking of a woman's value only at that point and not even striving for your own personal relationships, like platonic relationships with people. And I said this today, and I hope it doesn't rub anybody the wrong way, but like back in the day, some grandmas, let's just be real, she had multiple babies with 2 or 3 daddies. Are you valuing your grandma less? You understand?
Or your mom.
Right?
Like I said, let me
Or your
ask
mom.
the
Yeah.
question. The question I was gonna ask was, if you and I feel let me not try and influence the answer, but suppose you and your person, are at that stage in life where you want to take it to another level. Maybe marriage is on the table, or maybe you decided to go from dating to more of a solid situation. Are you gonna date this person if they're a virgin? And this is a man specifically. What is the likelihood of a woman marrying a man that's a virgin? Like, think about yourself and think about the woman what is the likelihood? Just to see what happens if we flip the script. How do we value them if they're untouched? Honestly.
Oh, I
I'd
think
be
this is like a
scared.
40-year-old. That's a 40-year-old virgin kind of vibes, boy.
Indeed.
Like, I don't know what I'll do with you.
But-
'cause, like,
I mean, most of us, we're in our 30s, sorry. A man who is around our age, he trying to deal with you in any whatever form, wherever you reach, and he's a virgin.
we're gonna have to do some classes, baby, because
I am here to teach.
men are experienced,
Look at me with my listen.
right?
I
They have a
have
hard time finding things.
Let me pull out that PhD.
We're bringing out the biology books.
Hands up.
You have to, because it's like the men who are experienced are already like they're a little. They can't find the North Star, So like having to deal with someone who like has had zero experience. I don't know if I want to teach. Like I didn't teach. I didn't choose teaching as a profession. I don't know if I want to choose that in my life, yo.
So you don't
about
see
it.
it as a positive attribute.
I don't see it as a positive one. I don't see it as a negative one. I don't.
For
Seems like
you,
work.
it's not a thing. Yeah.
But
Seems
are
like
you
work.
going to deal with him? The question is, are you going to deal with this man? Like, are you going to think this is where my future lies?
If I love him, if he has like everything else that I want, then we could
Like a
then we-
PhD.
I mean,
and more, If he has everything else, like I guess we're gonna have to go into biology mode, We're gonna have to put on our little glasses and start teaching shit,
I feel like that would go a little bit deeper though, right? Because generally for a person that chooses to stay celibate, let's say till they get married, it means that whoever they choose to be with, they're looking for someone where the values that they have for themselves are going to be aligned with their partner. So if for me, I would not be able to do that because that means our values are misaligned. Like not disrespect to anybody, but more so like this person really cares about celibacy. It's a thing. And then on my end, like obviously, because I've, with history, previous marriage and all that kind of stuff, I would not be able to be like, yeah, I'm cool. Not necessarily I'm cool with that, but I would just identify that our values are not going to align, right? Like if we want to raise kids, what kind of rules are we setting up with, kids as well? So, or what do we teach our kids? So I think that goes a little bit deeper, but yeah, I mean, same with Ro, I don't think I would be able to engage with that.
I mean, for you to reach to wanting to be married, that means you would have had to have, I'm hoping, a long enough relationship to even have that discussion in the first place. And if you reach all the way there, then it would make sense to take the other step. But I really can't answer that question. I'm not a horn dog or anything like that, sir, she says, blinking her eyes. But I don't think it's not a deal breaker, but also I would go through the courtship part of it and then see if it makes sense, because it depends on the reason for it and how strict they are with their stuff and what the expectation is of me as well, and all of that. But I mean, if you look on the internet, a lot of those guys, and I live on TikTok. I don't TikTok, but I live on TikTok. They a lot of guys who are celibate, they be saying that they know how to do other things.
Philan, that is a lie.
So if they know how to do other things, what other things are they doing? And is that not also sex?
I don't know, girl. I don't know.
I think people have different, obviously different
So it
definitions
really
of it.
depends
Yeah.
on what they think it, what they define it as, and the reasons for it, because it could be religious reasons, it could be change of life reasons, and all kind of different things. So I don't know how, but you know what? It wouldn't be a deal breaker if it is he had like 500 of them, unless he was trying to pull game on me, because you're totally been in a lot of things. You salt.
Oh my
But
God.
I don't decide. I'm not deciding that you less valuable because your toti was salting everybody, kitty. But then that's a whole different discussion. So I don't find salt
He
in the
said
kitty.
salt.
My problem with the question was Isale. My problem with it was that the question was posed in that way that said, made sure to mention that she was in a committed relationship through all of this. And
that makes it very okay then. Because if I'm not in a committed relationship, there's no reason I should just be sitting here with. Can't say that.
My only problem with multiple partners, my only problem with having multiple partners, if you're not in a committed relationship, is whether you are ethical enough to let your partners know what you're doing, or if it is that you choose to be private about what you're doing, that you're taking the necessary precautions to protect yourself and your future partners. And I think a lot of people think that using a condom is enough to protect yourself. I mean, not in every situation. A lot of people don't use protection for oral sex, and you can transmit diseases through oral sex as well, and we just kind of take it for granted. Just assume that I'm okay, and you might be surprised. And would you want to be surprised?
There's also the fact that having multiple sexual partners doesn't mean at the same time.
Yeah.
You understand?
Also doesn't mean that it's not a long committed anything either. It could be a one-night stand here. It could be someone you've had sex with maybe like in a span of 5 years, you have sex maybe twice a year.
I think that a lot of people in general, men and women, they should look beyond the sex part and see the values, because that is why a lot of relationships don't last, right? Because then you figure out, well, then you reach that point where something happens and then you realize, okay, this is what you would do in the situation. This is not, we all line here, that you full of shit. Them kind of things. And that is, so I figure when you're valuing somebody, and it's not your place to do that, but if you're valuing somebody, you have to take into account a lot of different things rather than what has been up a woman's coochie. But that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, and how much time are you going to spend in your relationship in that way anyway? Like you said, there can be so many larger things that you're going to have to deal with, parenting, finances, the logistics of a relationship. People underestimate how taxing that could be, just managing schedules. Sometimes something as simple as having one vehicle and 2 jobs, 2 people that need access to just simple things can add so much heaviness to your relationship. Unforeseen things that you don't expect, who's washing the dishes, all those things. That thinking about only, okay, how many other people have been with this person. It's so egocentric, because you're not even thinking about how you relate sexually with that person. It's not even, the question isn't even how sexually compatible I am with my person. It's how many other persons have been with them. It's so outside of the physical location of your relationships, why is this even in your mind? Why aren't you focused on yourself and the person that you want to be with? You're studying who else passed through, they passed through and they didn't stay, so you get through.
And trust and believe, if a woman don't want you to know how many people she has slept with, you will not know. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. And real man does lie on vagina. So he could say I was there and he wasn't there. You don't know what there is. You thought you were there, but you wasn't there, sir. It's just, yeah. I thought the whole framing of it was really bad for me. But there was a second part to that question, and that second part was basically if men reserve the right to consider a woman of less value if she has a history of being promiscuous.
No.
No one deserves that right.
I think that the individual has the right to decide if he wants to go there or not, but not
your choice.
say that woman is not of value. It's not of value to you, and that's fine.
And that's
so
okay.
you don't want to go there, that's good. But then you can't just look, like I said, you have friends who would have had sex with a number of people. Do you think she's of less value? So you reserve the right to have your opinion about if you would go there, but I don't think that it's right for you to just judge her whole value. And what is promiscuity? Anyway,
I hate that word.
Decide that for yourself. Decide that for yourself. Decide that for yourself.
It's such a negative word. It's just like it needs to be thrown out of the dictionary.
Honestly, it's like,
I mean, I don't think this. I think it's a terrible way to think, but like I agree with Jiz in that if that's how you're thinking, first of all, keep it to yourself. Don't bring that by me because I'll cuss you. That, right? But if that is how you feel, and for whatever reason somebody hurt you and now you feel like that, then just find the cheese, the appropriate cheese to match your bread. You know, you had to find somebody that could tolerate that about you. You know, I hope that you have other things to offer. But if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. And find, you know, it's really just everybody has their issues, and it's just to find someone that has compatible issues. Because there isn't going to be a person that is issueless. You're just gonna find someone who's willing to work on their shit and continue working on their shit. That's really all. And if it is that you've found yourself with someone who cannot fix their shit and is just this is how I, you know, have people, this is how I am and this is how I am, then they need to find someone who has a matching state of this is how I am, a compatible state of this is how I am.
Yeah, but I guess you reserve your right to have your opinion, but also opinions are like assholes, and everybody has one, but not everybody asking you for it. So just think what you're thinking and just trod. If you know you ain't there for that, then you ain't there for that. You don't have to talk down about anybody.
You don't need to toss anybody's opinion salad.
Anybody else on if men could men reserve the right? Because next question is on the tablet. Okay, so the second question had to do with if women nowadays, they manage. They have like mannish ways that they had to pick up, and if they've lost their feminine side, if they've lost touch with reality, that was what the other question was really asking.
Well, reaction smugs.
I think they lost touch with reality.
Thank you.
Ooh, nobody disagrees.
Yeah, not a one disagrees.
I mean, listen, and this is where go ahead, Sabrina.
No, I mean,
hit a finger.
And this is
one finger.
This is where I'm trying to understand. If the question did not originate with a certain entity, then the people that they associate themselves with obviously are sharing in that point of view, and they think that that is something that is going on, and they must have been, you know, subjected to these mannish tendencies.
Yeah.
Somebody getting manhandled somewhere and they didn't like it.
Yeah. Could be somebody
Mhm.
speaking to people.
But the thing is, I don't see anything wrong. Like I said then, and I would say it now, I's a man that have man tendencies. But I don't find anything is wrong with that. And it's not about being independent or anything. You just have to, it's not about, and it's not really about men really. It's just that sometimes you just have to step up to the plate for yourself and do things like, for example, if you have a vehicle and you want to get it serviced, you have to get on like things because they would try to swindle you then. You understand? Because the women have it's been known that women get charged a little bit more or something like that, or they laughing at you and they don't think you know what to do, or they pulling off the side of the road to help you because they figure something is wrong. And sometimes just to be able to just avoid all of the frivolities, you just have to just like stand up. And I don't see anything wrong with it from that perspective. I personally don't.
Yeah. I think the issue is that we now, let me word this right. We now have traits that buck up on them because they want to swindle you into like this like very meek and mild woman, and they don't know that you could toss their game back at them. You know, like, yeah, we sweet, we cute, but don't fucking play me because
Yeah.
I have the game for you too. So, you know, if that's what you don't like, honey, if you're not the one who started the problem, we don't have a problem, baby. You know?
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
you have a problem with that, then you really have to look deep within because it's you the one who really started that game. Because we don't just come there with game. I mean, I can speak for us. A lot of women who are like, I am done getting mistreated by men or whatever it is, they'll be like, I will never let another man mistreat me, mishandle me, miss whatever me. I'm coming there with just game for you, you know, and that's their thing. That's fine, you know. But if you don't like that, you probably should look back at how you treated other people girlfriend. And if you don't like it, huh,
I think it's a multi-layered a multi-layered discussion, because I would say yes, women have had to take on certain traits that might be considered masculine. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think it has been largely a survival, an adaptation for survival. You know, there was a time when women would be solely homemakers and depend on the man in the home, and then then men had less and less of a presence in the home. And then within the Black community, it's for very specific reasons, and also in the larger demographics, things have changed. Social things have changed. Divorce is more common, and I don't know if infidelity is more common, but definitely people are not staying in relationships as they used to, and there are a lot more single parents, and a lot of women are deciding when we get to a certain age, I'm gonna just do it by myself. Whatever the case is, we just been put in a place where you had to figure your shit out for yourself, and you take on that role. And sometimes when we are in a situation where we can release control, we don't always feel comfortable enough to do it, because we know that if we do it ourselves, we do it right, and it becomes difficult to, what's the term they like to use, submit, that's a whole other discussion.
I hate that word, bro.
Yep. But and in many ways, it's not just about that. It's just your relationships are so dynamic. Whether it's romantic or whatever the relationship is, you just have to know yourself, the person you're dealing with, and your role. Or whatever. And by role, I just mean, like, you just have to understand the dynamics of your relationship. Sometimes you might find yourself with a partner that is not good at remembering to pay the flow bill. And so that you had to be on the ball and pay the flow bill. You had to step up in that way. And to somebody else, that might be a big issue. You might be like, oh, this person isn't, I have to step up, and somebody might think that, you know, that person isn't taken care of or whatever, you might assume, oh, this is the one in the relationship that needs to pay the bills. Nah, it is simply just whoever is good at remembering to pay flow, and, you know, moving away from this idea that it could only be one way and figuring out what works for you and your person. And it just means that in some ways, one person is going to be more dominant, and some ways the other person is going to be more dominant. Just figure out your shit and make it work for you, you know?
But also there's dating, that you're dating. So if you realize that this is something that you don't like, I mean, if you decide to mention it, is this like, you know, or you just assess the situation and see. But I think what it is that they, and I'm not speaking about them specifically, just, you know, guys in the general public, they find it unattractive, right? Unattractive when women are, you know, they are portraying these traits. And I had a conversation with a guy, and I think I'm okay to share it. And I don't know if he listens, and if he does, I have no problem with you or your opinions. They are yours. I respect it. But you know, he was like, I don't want no one who trying to beat me, trying to manhandle me. And I'm like, what do you mean? No, trying to rule. He said, specifically, he said trying to rule. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you know, who do you think should be leading the relationship? And I'm like, leading what way? Because relationships are deep and they have multi-layers and all of that shit. So if you mean leading in the kitchen, it definitely wouldn't be me specifically, because me, I don't like to cook. I can, but I don't like to. So what do you mean? And he's like, you know, what if you see a guy in the club and he's everything that you want? Do you go up to him or do you wait for him to come up to you? And I was like, listen, if I have enough drinks in me and I see a Rasta man that I like, I will go up to him. And I would tell him that he's nice, or say something in my Giselle way. And he was like, you're a girly girl. I said, have you met me? That's not a question for anybody that has ever met me ever in life that they would ask me. So like, what are you saying? But I think his thing was he wants a woman who would, when he stand up, go.
So then be that man.
Yeah.
You can't come with your pussy ass shit and then come and expect me to no, because if you are actually a dominant person, that will come through regardless. And you will find someone who is either willing or will accept that from you because they would play that role for you. But you cannot come here and just come and say, I'm dominant, and expect me to fall and salam. Like, no, what are you doing that for? You can't show that you can lead. So what is you saying that you're dominant gonna make me do what? It might make me laugh in your face, to be real honest. Like, be a big thing then. Go ahead.
I mean, there's so many levels to this thing. Let's take it back. It wasn't that long ago where a woman was not even allowed to open up a bank account, purchase property without having, and this is in the States, I'm not talking about countries where we think there's like backward thinking. I'm talking about here in the States where unless there was a male co-signer, right? And this all goes back to the idea of like, and I also hate the word modern. I hate when people say she's a modern woman because it always comes with this connotation of, oh, she's choosing business, career, life, money over being at home and creating a family, being a wife and all that kind of stuff. And in these days, people want different things. You can have kids and have a successful career. You can be paying your own bills. Your man may not be working at this moment and you can still do the house. So like I did, have an experience, my ex-husband was that way where it really bothered him that I made more money than he did. It really bothered him. And I know for a fact that that was one of like the, when you think about foundational things that maybe you should have like found that red flag earlier. I knew that it was like a little constant that just, then it starts kind of cracking a little bit, that was a thing. But again, what's happening now, and it has been happening for decades now, is that women are starting to know what they can do. It's not that they could never do it, right? Is it that the suppression kept happening? It's like, no, this is a man's role, right? Here in my family, my mom has taught me like, I don't care if you're a girl, you still taking out that trash outside. right? Versus it used to be girls wash the dishes, boys take out the trash, right? And thankfully my parents instilled that in me, but I think it's still very common that when people use that word of like modern woman, right? Especially in like my culture, like in the Indian culture, you might hear some elder people saying like, oh, she's so modern, right? And they're not complimenting that. They're saying it that, oh, she wants to work, but she doesn't want to come home and take care of the house. So many layers to it. I personally, as I said, I hate that term, but it's just like, and the whole idea of saying like this is a mannish trait, it's like, no, yes, historically, this is what men do, right? And even on the men's side, right, they are even taught to be like that. Let's just think about that too, if we think about mental health for a moment. But for women, because they're now starting to stand up to know like they are actually capable of these things, like that term of like mannish ways, I don't know if it'll ever go away. I don't know if people think like, again, that whole alpha term too. It's like, no, people can coexist together and still be able to do all these things. And because women are, I've even heard terms, people like, oh, women should be so, feel grateful that now they can have like, the pay gap, which is still pretty big right now, is that they could still do that, or women can't be CEOs because they have kids. It's so crazy how those terms are kind of played out. But yeah, I think if you are able to find a partner in your life, male, female, that is able to respect that and support you, I feel like partners should really love that they have a female partner that can, in that scenario, that can help support financially a household, can just be like, hey, why don't you be, a at-home dad? Like those are the kind of things, and I think people see like weakness in that, which I really don't think it is.
Absolutely. It's the real story money.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. You can sleep on the bed. You can sleep on the bed at hundreds. I don't care. You do business. I do business.
Yeah.
I have a little question, right? And I'm talking about like in this society as we live in here right now on the streets, for those of us that are on the street. So you're asking all of these questions to come and waste in time. Nah, like I'm serious. I have no problem, right? But yeah, you're keeping all of these things in mind. I want to know who she got, who she has sex with. Is she little mannish? Da da da. For a two little skit, and then waste my time. Why you bothering? Why you bothering for?
Because
Why you
Marco,
bothering for?
being an alpha male.
Marco.
It's called being an
And-
alpha, baby.
And this is not even about like all guys, but just like the ones who are not about it, they are just about the streets. Why are you bothered with all of this if you know you're for the streets? Streets
They
recognize streets, you understand? So if you're on game, I on game too, baby, like do it. And don't worry about what has passed here or there. The overs, but you're studying. Oh, he, and he, and he, and he, and he. But you know you're really just here for a little slap and go. So like, why is it that
A
important?
little slap.
A little slap.
Because men at
that's-
the end of the day want to impress their other men friends. And as soon as they realize that that's the fucking nonsense that they're doing, they'll snap out of it maybe. But stop trying to do things to impress your friends. Like, if all y'all just mind your goddamn business and uplift each other, maybe you might get through a little faster in life.
And the thing is too.
That's another species. That's another, and most of them not evolved. I'm sorry. So you're asking for a lot.
Yeah.
They stopped at the caveman, some of them. Bless their hearts.
Guys, I like y'all. Just so you know, I like y'all. It's just that a lot of y'all on shit.
Some good ones, There are.
There are a lot of good ones.
There are.
They're lovely. Lovely.
And
lovely.
bless their hearts.
Yeah.
But you see, when you have like a good girlfriend, she would talk to you about things. If she sees you like going in a direction that she thinks that's maybe not for you, she would talk to you. I don't know if men have that type of community. I feel sad for them if they don't.
I happen to know some guys that have that type of community.
And that's nice, but it's not a common thing,
I think it starts off with the fuckery, and then it takes them a while to get to that. Maybe it shouldn't, but they start off with they some of them just always be on the fuckery. Can I say that? Well, I've been saying it, so it don't matter.
Yo,
Please.
I had an
Doesn't
experience
matter.
in Grenada one time where a gentleman asked, I won't even call names. The gentleman asked to buy me a drink and I said no. It was when boardroom was still a thing, right? I know it's a new thing now, but when boardroom was still, remember we used to line in the parking lot or whatever. Asked to buy me a drink. I said no, thank you. Very polite, right? Polite. It's not a person, the person wasn't a stranger. I knew the person. I said no, thank you. And I think a few minutes later, I decided I wanted a drink, went and bought a drink on my own. And he came up to me, was upset, saying that I asked to buy you a drink and you said no. And what, you think you're a big person that you decided to buy your own drink?
Yes.
Damn.
I didn't even
Damn,
answer.
damn.
I just walked the other way. I was just like, I was so like, what?
No, you see, my problem is, Abby, my problem is in that same situation. If you had taken your good up self and go and say, I'm ready for that drink now, he would have say, here's a gold digger, or you're just one thing, or you're just one drink. So, like, where is the pleasing?
Yeah.
You never saw like gold
Left your
member.
ass alone all night long.
There's yeah.
Yeah. No, I just walked the other direction. I was like, okay.
It's
So strange, like that's a thing for men. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, let's put off her camera.
but yeah, it's so strange. Like that's a thing for them because, like, my dad, like literally just yesterday, my father was like, "Girl, I don't know if you'll find a man here, And this is the conversation my parents and I have often, right? Like he's like, I don't know if you'll find a man here, You just walk into a bar and buy a round of drinks for a pile of man. And I was like, yeah. Like I don't really necessarily want your drinks. I don't care for you to buy me a drink, but like I don't mind that if it's my friends that I buy a round for people. If you're buying rounds, then we buy rounds. But like I'm accustomed to buying drinks for men. Like that's not a thing for me. You know what I mean? But like in this particular community, and maybe in like other countries too, I don't know. Like a woman buying a man drinks or buying her own drinks is like, who does she think she is? How dare she use her own money?
And women get injured from it too.
Exactly.
That's the sad part.
I don't accept drinks from anybody that aren't my like close friends.
If I outside, I could buy my own drinks. If I'm not out, if I can't buy it, then
I wouldn't.
You shouldn't be outside.
Wouldn't be outside. But that's the thing, though. Like, if I have bought drinks for guys, I don't have a problem doing that. Like, I'll be like, "What are you drinking?" Okay. If it is too out of my budget, I'll be like, "What beer you drinking? Let's just throw that out there." And saying, but I don't see a problem with it. Whatever.
Oh.
But the thing is, right? When talking about people, like they have those questions, but specifically geared to women. What would you do if you came home and you saw like 5 of your exes or 5 of the people that you've dealt with all together in the same place? Like, what would you do? Are they asking dudes these questions?
Bro, I would dab all of them up. Be like, hey.
But also, I'll be real good. I don't have any issues with any of my exes. Like, be cool. Be bros.
Just be like,
I don't have exes like that, but if I see like a group of the men that I used to have relations with, I'd be like, first of all, what the fuck you doing here? Second of all, I really like you now. Best your step. But like, I don't care. Like, y'all know about each other. You don't know about each other. Either way, I have no sense of loyalty to y'all because I wasn't with y'all. You weren't with me.
Right? Y'all know for a fact that I have been in places where there were a number of people that I have associated myself with. Like, I'm smack dab in the middle and they made like a 5-point star just right there. And I'm just like, okay.
Turn off my camera again.
Don't you want to kind of just like introduce them and be like, hey, you were Monday? You were last week.
And for the people listening,
hold on.
It's not like
they were dead.
They would actually like not be okay.
You know why they like to ask these kind of questions? Because, like Ayana said, they go dead. They go dead. If they realize, hey, they go die.
But
But
to their credit, though, I would say that there are a few of them that are able to be upfront and honest. A few of them, but for the most part, y'all ain't shit though.
I'm not saying that. I'm not agreeing to that. I'm not agreeing to that. But that's why I always say I would respect a fuck boy. Like I say this. I've said this on this podcast maybe twice or three times before. I could always respect a fuck boy because a fuck boy says what it is he's about. Listen to me. We just doing this for a slap. I mean, there's different
Slap,
types.
slap.
A particular brand of fuck boy would say, "Listen, we're here for the slap, and that's it." So if you as a woman decide that you're catching the feelings, it's on you to do something with it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for triggering
pockets.
you. There are some of them that do that. And if you decide to continue, then that is on you. If you don't want it, then you don't want it. So I would respect that
You
kind
know
of
what I
that
always
kind of
say that
fuckery.
honesty could also be a form of manipulation.
Yes.
I think my ex did that with me for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I was honest with you about it.
Yeah. He's like,
I know somebody that is do that way. Well, I just always let people know what the scene is. But you're holding hands, so right? And you know, anyway. Yeah. And this is not personal. I know man so. I just always let them know
I know
what
man
is
so.
the scene. I just always let them know what is the scene. I could come and spend the night by you tonight. I just always let them know. Yeah.
That voice.
I personally don't believe in the whole spending the night and all that. If we just do
Take a slap and roll.
Yeah, dog, go stay.
I don't want to out myself, but y'all know stories on me.
Wow, slap to go.
I didn't even know you were still here.
Can I get that slap in a doggy bag?
Get that to go.
You will get a Warsaw, and that's about it.
I just really want you to walk me out, if anything, because I want nobody family catch me. So just walk me out, just be polite. But after that, you can dab them up. Gone, bruh. Later.
And I guess these are the exact male attributes, mannish ways that they're talking about. If this is unattractive, then.
But do you do it to protect yourself? Like I think a few of us were having this conversation maybe this weekend. I know how my feelings are, and I know I catch feelings quick. So I have to put myself in a position where I am always in alignment with my feelings. I know that you cuddling me after relations, or you good morning.
Can we throw away this word relations?
After the slap, I can't be cuddled. Don't cuddle me. I don't want to feel any sort of
emotional attachment.
No, because I will catch feelings, and I would tell you, because I'm honest, and I'm too honest. I will tell you, listen, I think I like you more than we were, discussing. Yeah, no, my mouth, I can't help it. It falls out my mouth like word vomit. Like, I would tell you, but in order for me to prevent all of that, don't message me. Don't call me unless it's to come over. Don't cuddle me, please.
Giselle, you okay? My face facing and.
But you have to come to the place where you're honest with people about what you want and what you don't want. Because I don't want to be in a position where I'm falling in love and this man just not bothered by me.
Listen.
Been there, done that, and it sucks.
Rohan, you are triggering me.
I'm so sorry, baby.
Yo.
I'm sorry. That's just
no. I'm not. I do not.
You say, I had to tell the truth.
You have to say the truth.
You have to protect yourself too. It's self-preservation. It really is a lot of it is self-preservation, and it doesn't only have to do with relationships. I remember stating that sometimes you just have to be real assertive in your workplace. You realize people trying to walk all over you. You had to stand up a little bit. So it's not only in relationships. So if it's unattractive, I mean, that's all well and good, but really and truly, when two people come together, a woman can be soft for you if it's right. If she's feeling comfortable, she feels safe, she can be soft for you, but probably for you
I'm
and only you.
I am hot potty, softy. All amount I have, if I get into a relationship,
we don't see in you, girl.
I go into hiding. I go and live inside my man, I go and live inside he cavity, just the. Because that's what
I think a lot of times people don't realize that we have to pave the way for what we want in every sense of the word. So if it is that I want my partner to, for example, help me manage the finances or maybe the cleaning of the home, right? Then it means that I have to be able to have certain things in place to support that, or at least, and that could be a conversation. That could be, if it is that I don't want my person, actually, it's not even about thinking, it's about thinking about what is it that I don't want to do? What is it that I am, or what is it that I'm willing to contribute? You have to know what you're willing to contribute in a relationship. And then you just have to find someone. Sometimes it's daunting to think of the finding part, but find someone that understands their needs and is clear about their needs, so that you can also be clear about what you're able to provide. If it is that you don't want a woman to be all about her career, maybe you want her to be able to relax, so whatever the case is, whatever you think an ideal woman should be, then it means that you have to be able to provide a certain amount of structure as a man or as a woman. If I know that I'm career minded, then I'm not going to put myself in a relationship with someone that is focused on starting a family right now, for example. I'm setting myself up for failure. Then, don't go there. That is not for you. So you really have to know what you want, and then also make sure that you're on top of your shit. Make sure that you can handle yourself in every sense of the way. Someone shouldn't necessarily have to come and try and build a life around you. You have to have your life set. They have to have their life set, and then hope that the pieces match. And if they don't match, recognize the signs that tell you this is not going to work. I mean, if you're like me, like many of us, sometimes you can get a little colorblind, and yeah, we think colorblind. We don't see, ignore, or aren't able to recognize the red flags.
We don't see them, we just recognize them, and we just think we could change it, or we think that it'll disappear in a while. We're very hopeful, this human race. Some of us, we very hopeful.
Yeah, I'm about that hope.
People for who they are and just let it be. But I want to reiterate on what you said about being clear, because I think being clear with your intentions for someone, or clear with intentions for what it is that you want, is absolutely the utmost important thing. Because if I can be clear about what I want, then we could find a way either around it, or we could figure out that we're not compatible, and then we just go we separate ways. And that's just it.
Boom. Indeed.
It's a healthy balance of saying what you want, asking for what you want. Is it a healthy balance? Saying what you want, leaving room for growth and leaving room for organic development, but also walking away at the appropriate times. It's it's a lot of things to think of. When am I giving this person room to be comfortable and step into their own with me? When is it that I'm not being clear about what I want from them? Or when is it when I have to recognize, this doesn't make sense, time to roll? It's a combination of all, and sometimes it's hard.
I think I have that when it comes to jobs, I guess that comes from a place of me having financial backing with my family. But if I know that in a job, either you treat me a little funny and it's gonna get worse, because you could always tell when someone's treating you a little funny, and it could get a lot worse than it needs to be. I don't believe in toxic workplaces. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it. And when someone's demanding something from you and not paying you, I say bye so quick. Like if my resume had to end up in somebody's lap, they'll be like, why was here so short? Why was there so short? Because I'm not doing it. I can tell you I know how to walk it when it comes to at least jobs. Men, you work on that.
We're working on it.
Working on it.
Yeah. That was that. That was that. And the last one that we spoke about on that podcast had to do with is the mentality of a independent woman being taken too far these days.
I think that's threatening to some people, just to know that there are independent women. It's threatening to their being as a dominant man. You know,
Was your big man voice?
that's my big
Wow.
man. Gotta beat my chest. You know, like it's threatening to a man who says he's an alpha, who says he's dominant, but is really just looking for someone to say, yes, yes, my love, yes, my darling, anything for you. Would you like a blowjob? Okay. Like it's threatening for someone to be called or to act like they're independent. They don't need you. Like you cannot be a weak man or a weak woman. Well, I don't know for some women. Let me not say that. You can be a weak man and want an independent woman, because that will make you feel very insecure, big man. Because she choosing to love you, but she don't need you for nothing. She wants you. So I think that's better, sir. You know, but that's just my 2 cents. Bling bling.
I feel like this
just drink to swallow something, eh?
Follow it. Tell us.
Wait, let me repeat the question. I'll make sure I have.
Is the independent woman mentality being taken too far these days?
By whom?
Women. Black
Who come up
women
with this
to be
question?
Yeah. Sabrina is just not here for the line of questioning at all.
Honestly, that was triggering me throughout the entire thing. It was the wording of the questioning. It was like,
Yeah.
this is already biased, bro.
What
For
is
our
what
audience
what
who
does that
didn't
even
catch that
mean?
live, Giselle is paraphrasing. So
Very, very much. I'm
Paraphrasing.
I'm not saying it dead on because
What
it's
what does that even mean?
yeah.
As a like too far. A country getting independence is too far?
Must be.
Right?
I think it
Yo, I love the way Smug said that just now. Country gaining independence is too far. Fucking love that.
Yeah, I'm sure England felt away when Barbados like fully pulled away.
Oh, she hurt.
She hurt her.
on her cute little stationery. Oh, she's supported. Okay.
Yeah. I try to bring the whole question together, but the best way to say it is it being taken too far, or is it sometimes toxic? And the thing is that I would be real honest, there are some women who hurt. And you know how they say hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
So they went through what they went through. They ain't going, because we already said this, they ain't going through that again. And so some people, I don't think it's taken too far, but they just close themselves off like so bad that they're not even open to the notion of any man talking to them for whatever their reason is.
Not
but also
sideways, like don't talk to me sideways.
Yeah, like
would
at
tell
all.
you, like don't talk to me
At all. And I know that is an extreme yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also based on experiences. It's kind of like men who say, well, my first girlfriend when I was 11 years old, she was an actress on TV and she gets a boyfriend, and I never trust woman after that until I was like 32 years old and I realized that my piggy can't stay up for as long, and so I decided I want to get married and have some children. It's a similar thing.
That is a
I'm
lot to unpack.
Wow, Giselle, that was
No, but-
oddly specific.
I mean, it had nothing to do with nobody I know, right? But I'm just saying, it's kind of like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
it.
you just you hold on to that person hurting you so much that you never trust no woman. So more than likely, not necessarily, more than likely you run through a few of them. So it's kind of this, it's similar in that if somebody hurts you, but instead of running through them, you just stand up for you just block them off. And you might decide that you're just here for the slap, like some of them there for the slap. And now it's like, now it's toxic. When it is that women are doing it, it's toxic because you don't want man, you just want to take man, and we don't like that.
Must be sad.
Sometimes it's because of larger social issues where you have less of a male presence in the household, and you have, a female head of household and generations of female heads of household, and us as women, because we've been so used to seeing women in that role, and because maybe we ourselves or our moms have been in that role, that we automatically default to that role for whatever reason. Maybe it is that both of our parents were entrepreneurs, or whatever it is. Sometimes a lot of that stays in us, and we don't always, in our workplace or wherever it is in our relationship, we feel like we have to do it ourselves, or we feel like I'm accustomed doing it for myself, so I'm going to continue. And we don't always recognize points when we can release control, and we get so focused on maintaining control. But I always feel like if it is that I'm in a relationship, I will do what needs to be done. Full stop. I'm not trying to take away anything from my partner, but I will do what needs to be done. So if it needs to be done, then it means that no one is doing it. It probably means that you're not doing it. If it is that you don't want me to do it, then handle the shit, man up, take care of business. If you're not taking care of business, then don't be upset if I step in, because that's what I'm going to do. That is me. I will make sure that the shit
The
don't
sucky ducky.
Like the sucky ducky.
So if it is that you don't want me to step into that role, then you step into that role. Step into the role that whatever. If the space is vacant, then I will occupy it. If you have left it vacant, then don't be mad that I've occupied it. If I'm doing something that you don't want me to do, then it obviously means that you're not handling things how you're supposed to. So don't be mad when I keep the ship afloat. So focus on yourself, figure out what you want, and then what you need will fall in line.
Yeah. I think I was watching a video that was saying like men cause the problem, like whether it be like men leaving the home of their families and leaving to start other families, or just leaving completely, and they cause this problem in the home where the woman has to step up, and then the children who are girls in the house, they see that, and that for them, that's the role that they have to play, and it's just this domino effect of that. It's like men cause the problem and then they get vexed at the problem. A big man, or let's start that. You cause the problem, then you complain about the problem. That ain't making too much sense, like you can't. You have to kind of sit down and look at, okay, this woman is being so incredibly independent. I either find a way for us to balance this, or I really step up into that role. And that's, if you see a vacant role, you ain't go just apply for the position. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Like you can't lay back and then decide, well, I want to be dominant, and you're vexed because you're girl independent. That's stupid.
I think there's a other side to this too, a little bit. Well, no, there is a side to this of like the idea, first of all, idea of independence. Like, yes, I pay my own bills. Yes, I do this like as I should be doing, right? And not, excuse me, having to rely on anybody else. But I also think there is value of seeing when someone is trying to be there for you and wants to, and I know for example, my personality trait, I'm definitely a type A, whereas like if I know I'm going to do something, it's boom, 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 I'm doing something, right? I know for sure, and I've done it to my friends, I've done it to my partner, I've done it to Daryl, where like, if you are not moving fast enough for me, I will have that shit done yesterday, right? But like, also it took me a while to understand like this person is actually trying to help me. They work a little bit differently, and let that happen, right? So I think there is that value of like still allowing yourself to see that someone's actually trying to help, not necessarily be like, oh, they want to be dominant, but they're like, we see you carrying a lot of weight on your shoulders, and this is just how you normally function. You don't see it. Let me step in and help. And then still being okay with the fact that like, okay, if they don't do it as fast as I do it, right, or plan it as I do it, that's okay too. So there is still like a little bit of that side, like where someone's actually genuine about it, not trying to be like, oh, she's too independent and I'm trying to push her into submission type of deal.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there.
I think I think it's deeper than just saying yes, it's taken too far these days, or no, it's not taken too far these days. You really have to think about it. Like, if you realize that this woman is super, I don't want no man, are you coming to her for a good reason? Are you showing her that it's okay to let that guard down? Or are you just there to get the guard down so you can get what you want and leave? Because that is only going to make the wall even stronger. And you had to know. So I mean, sometimes it's just a little encouragement. Like, you might wanna let people in. We wanna help you, like B said. We wanna help you, so you could let us in, or you could just leave her where she is at that point in time, because she's not ready for whatever it is you are coming at her with. If it is that she's that type of very strong, very strict, independent type of thing, and because a lot of us need that healing from whatever it is, like men and women, we need that healing. And it's okay, yeah, all right, some of us just I don't need a man. So then leave her alone. She'll come to it, and you mightn't be the man for her at that point in time anyway.
I mean, and ladies, y'all had to know what y'all want, because me, I work hard, but I trying to split these bills. So like, I work too damn hard sometimes. I also play real hard. So, y'all see me doing shit, but sometimes I just be up until 1:00 trying to get things done and stuff. And I don't, I want to retire early. I want, when I start my family, to be able to not work and focus on my family. That's what I want. So I already know what I want. So I know that I need a partner who's going to be able to hold shit down while I take care of the other things. He ain't making the kids. I don't necessarily, everybody has to know what you want. I know that I want to kind of stay at home for the first couple years of my kid's life, if it's possible, and then resume my career and whatever, see how it works. It doesn't always work as planned. Who knows? It might be a hybrid situation, but the point is, I definitely know what I'm looking for. So the thing is, sometimes we're not always clear about what we want, and then we complain simply because we're in situations that we're unhappy about. And then that's why we end up saying all of the things. Oh, this person is toxic. Oh, this person is trying to be dominant. No, you haven't found someone that's compatible. That's the bottom line. The person is, yeah, there is a problem with the person. The problem is that they're not for you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Those were the questions that we were able to get through with them. And get through is a very loose term, yeah. But those were the questions that we were able
I give kudos to all, like, I wasn't able to join that for that one, but y'all real represented hard. I mean, Smugs also showing up in the chat too. I was like, yeah, that was big up all yourselves.
Somebody messaged me, called me, and was like, yo, Sabrina had me rolling in that comments. And I was like, yep, because she wasn't standing for some of the viewpoints You understand the viewpoint? So,
The archaic viewpoints, yeah.
coming from a person that was listening those months, like your opinion there, right?
Loved it. I loved his, I love the interaction in the chat though. Like there was also other people that were like, what the hell
What the hell
kind
is
of
this?
BS is this? Yeah. It was great.
I think the most amazing part of the night, let me update the listeners, but the most amazing part of the night for me was the fact that before we started, Giselle's internet, computer, everything was working smoothly, seamlessly, not a hiccup. Everything was perfect. And then as soon as the question started and the discussion started and, the tone, basically, we started to realize the tone that the evening would take, Giselle's shit just stopped working and would not start back until it had all ended.
See, Flo even wasn't dealing with the BS.
It wasn't even, I don't think it was flow. It was just like
The universe knew.
The
The
universe.
universe knew alignment.
because y'all know I love to heckle. If something is happening in a specific way, I would heckle. Yeah. But the way you say no makes sense though. And that would have been me for a significant portion of it. But
I couldn't even be funny and I couldn't open my mouth for a long time because one, I was in shock. And two, like the wording and like some of the words they use were honestly so incredibly triggering for me. And I'm like, I joke about like being triggered about things, but I had never been so triggered in my life where like I wanted to just burst into tears. I was like, this is like what scares me about dating in Grenada. This is what scares me about walking down the street. This is what scares me when I'm just like being. Because people say, words don't really matter, but like people's words can lead you into a very dangerous place, And like I found their words to be up to like it brought me back to the place where like I was in court because of the guy that stole my phone and like he exposed my breast and like, whatever it was. And it brought me back to that time where he was in court, like questioning me if I was drunk. And the way I wanted to fly out that booth and strangle this man, I was like, it was bringing me back to it. I was like, I'm gonna cry.
because it wasn't even that you identified the man. He was found because he had your phone. So it's not even about if your drunkenness had a part to play. Like, anyway, that's a different story.
Yeah, the police had identified him, not me, because I was like, I was sleeping. I had just come from a long ass day of 2 different jobs. I am exhausted, sir. My teeth, my tits. Anyway, but yeah, it was very triggering to me because of those situations. And I was trying to tell them, like, your wording is so incredibly important because the way you say things can be someone's like life or death situation. Like saying the word promiscuous and like thinking that it's okay to like call people promiscuous can lead them to a very dangerous place. And that's just what it is.
That was difficult.
So I didn't like the wording of any of it. It was pissing me off, and I was real happy I had drinks because I got fucking drunk. I was lit.
Mm-hmm. At a certain point, I was standing on my own and my face was facing, but yeah, it just goes to show. For me, the most shocking thing was how comfortable many persons, on the pod, but also in the chat, the way that people felt entitled to just so freely say certain things. It's almost as if there wasn't a care for the fact that you're not just saying it about women, you're also saying it to women. There are women present right now, live. You're seeing it to women, and it was shocking. I never imagined that somebody could be so blatant about that type of opinion. I didn't realize that the expectation was that way of thinking was mainstream. And not that I necessarily go for mainstream things, but I didn't expect him to be able to be, or them to be so confident about what they were saying. They really
have it
felt
so
like
deep in their heart.
this was a surety. So at some point in their life, this was reinforced somehow, in some way. There were events that reinforced this way of thinking. It couldn't be something that they just thought up the night to discuss with us. They really were convinced that this is how things go, and probably that is how things go for them in their world. And that also in itself is so sad, that whatever happened to you happened, and this is now how you think. And that you know,
that you're going to pass this on to another generation. That's what's scary about it. It's scary that you're passing it on to another generation who is going to have to unfortunately live
I mean, let's have faith
that
in our
type of world.
generation.
Yeah, to be honest, y'all want words, but I really have no words for that part. I mean, the comment section was lit. I had a very good time in front there, but honestly, out of everything, it just makes me sad to think that those type of point of views are being pushed and in certain circles, and it's sad, you know, and having young girls, you know, having to grow up with people that have that type of perspective is tough. But I'm glad that different point of views was able to be shared, even though it might have been missed in the moment if people went back and listened to it, or even just reading the comments and just being part of it. I'm glad that we had that all of y'all could have, you know, tough it out, because it was a tough conversation to be had. It really was. Definitely a necessary one, even though how tough it was. But I think, you know, the different perspective, I don't want to say right perspective, but a much more positive perspective was definitely displayed. And it was needed, definitely needed.
Yeah. I think for me, I didn't get to say a lot because of the situation that I was in at the time, right? But for me, I thought it was a good back and forth, honest to God, because some people, because we don't have these conversations, we don't know that there are people out there with that perspective. And it just goes to show that, yeah, there are men who think this way specifically about women based on the kind of questions and stuff, but goes to show that there are a lot of men who are dealing with situations with women that push them to that kind of mentality. And that in itself is not okay. At least from my stance, that's not okay, because in an equal world, because I like equality, and I'm not doing the whole what really is equality dance. I have some real good men in my life, and I would hate to think that they are going through these kind of things with women that pushing them to think like that, because then that changes their perspective about me. Me, I don't like that. You know, so I think both sets of people need to do better. I want to say especially men, because that's where I'm at, but everybody should just strive to do better and just, love yourself, because if none of us didn't love ourselves, we wouldn't have last 2 seconds on that. We wouldn't have. If we didn't have friends who love us, they would not be lighting up the comment section either. Yeah. You understand? So yeah, you really had to look at yourself, and like Ayana said, know what you want and know what you stand for, to be able to and the guys stood for what they stood for, and they were within their right to do so. I just think that a little bit more openness by everybody would be real good. Because you do not value me by the amount of sex I have had, because, sir, try Jesus, not me. That's it.
Not Jesus.
Yo, y'all remember when he said, he has the power to withhold relationships? Well, then we have the power to withhold sex, and you just have to use his hand for the rest of his life, or some sort of fruit or vegetable, maybe a pumpkin, a squash, who knows?
Oh. Well, the men are very jealous of us having the rose. They was having a sucky ducky, so
There
So
are
I
men
mean,
who are jealous.
it really can go both ways.
Definitely.
But you know, some fossils just are meant to remain fossils. Not talking about the watch though.
Hey, hey yo,
Yeah.
hey yo, bing bong.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
I think I
Love
wouldn't mind having the discussion again with a different group of men. Just out of curiosity. I
We
want to
actually have some
I
friends
would
that want
I
to
would
have it
love
with us.
to hear what themes repeat and in what ways, other men might think differently, because I can't imagine that all men think that way. And I didn't disagree with everything that they said, but I did disagree with the way they said the way that they made a lot of points. And also, that also is relative, because I also don't think that we were speaking in the same language. I think
Or with the same tone.
or with
Or
this
with the same tone.
tone, I don't think they had the right amount of emotional intelligence for that discussion. Not that they didn't have valid points, but I think at least when you're having a discussion without the elephant in the room, or without the topic of discussion in the room, but you're having a discussion about women with women for the purpose of hearing women's opinions, but you are not allowing them to speak, creating an environment for them to be able to express themselves, and you're also not valuing their contribution to the conversation. It almost was as if you had something to say and you just needed someone to say it, not to, but at.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you there. I wouldn't word that any differently.
Yeah. But I do note that when they reached out, there was like we had a conversation about, if it was good or whatever. I know what the aim is, and I gave advice as to, how to keep it lighter, because the questions were very heavy, and they wanted a more of a back and forth. So if it's like too heavy, they wouldn't be able to get a good back and forth. You'll get real emotions, real feelings inside there. So, I'm hoping that if they ever have another one like that, they could have a free flow of just fun conversation, because, men and women talk about each other, and that's okay. But we do have some male friends who are very much interested in coming on to have discussions about, men and women. And I know for sure those persons, we would have a good time speaking about it, because they would tell us about ourselves in the way that we are accustomed. And I think that it would be a better fit. Maybe the fit of the two coming together wasn't the right one based on just the two styles. But yeah. Still, like, guys, I feel like we've come to the end of this one. We had a really nice discussion. I was really happy because it was really nice to see Smugs' face and her facial expressions, and see her try to swallow some opinions there to keep it nice and light. But you know. So, guys, this has been Straight No Chaser, and we had a lovely discussion. You can follow us at straightnochaser.podcast on Instagram. The link tree will take you to your preferred streaming platform. We are on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Music, and the YouTubes if you want to see our beautiful faces. I'm going to shamelessly plug Smugs Fit for all your fitness needs, inspiration, motivation, challenges, just to get your body right. Because if you've seen any of us, hello, she got our bodies nice and right.
And apparel
During
to
the
get our wardrobe
pandemic.
right.
And the apparel, she
Meal
got the
plan,
merch.
everything.
Hopefully we'll be able to have the little link available so that you can see as well, because my girl has been doing big things. And we just stay and we support the curly tails as well, because Valentine's recipes and cocktails are coming.
And chocolate too.
And charcuterie.
Yep.
So yeah, and the rest of us just doing our thing. We love each other and we support each other without any apology, unapologetically. So guys, that's the end of it for us.
Night night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.